Hi guys, and we're live with the first part of 3 in a video series training on how to efficiently lose body fat and get into better shape. I know this is such a common question, common topic that's tossed around all the time, and we're going to get into a little bit of the science-backed ways to actually do this. So we'll get started in a minute or two. I know I'm a little bit early here. Got my notes in front of me if you see me looking to the left, because I want to make sure that I give you all the information. Hello there, and if you're here and if you're watching this live, you can drop a comment here, tell me that you're live. If you're watching this as a replay later on, let me know and tell me replay, and then I'll know that you are here, and I can always reach out to you if you have specific questions to this topic. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Doing well. Let's talk a little bit about, and good to see you. Let's talk a little bit about the topic at hand here. Nice, guys. Good to see you guys. Hi, Jason. All right. The topic at hand is, what we're going to start with today is talking a little bit about fad diets, okay? Hey there. All right. So very often what I've heard with my clients, my family, my friends, everything, they try keto and it didn't work, or it made them sick. They tried a zero carb diet and that didn't work and that made them sick. They tried intermittent fasting. Okay, I'm not here to tell you that any of those methods are specifically wrong, but if you're new to getting into your fitness and nutrition regimen, then honestly, those are not going to be the ways to start. Very often, those kind of diets can be used as a supplement once you're already on track and you want to add a little something. And honestly, they don't work for everybody. Those like keto and low carbs. You're going to find, I think, once we're through at the end here, that there's no real reason to cut out any macronutrient, whether it's carbs, fats, or proteins. Okay, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. If you've ever tried a certain kind of diet before, whether it worked for you or not, you can let me know. You can drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. If it did work, let me know. If it didn't work, I would love to hear that as well, and maybe we can figure out why. So I have a couple topics for us today. The first topic here is I want to talk a little bit about the different types of fat that you may want to be aware of and plan accordingly around. Hey there. I see people joining, guys. It's awesome to see you. So the first two that we're going to talk about is subcutaneous fat versus visceral fat, okay? If you have, let's say you're a regular weight, a weight that's comfortable for you, but you have more of a belly, then you're going to want to hear this, because we're going to get into a little bit of why that specifically may be. So hey Brooke, live. Awesome, guys. Great to see you. So subcutaneous fat, guys, it's the fat that's distributed evenly across your body. I mean, evenly, relatively, right? Everybody's a little bit differently distributed, but it's the fat that lays right under your skin. It's a protective layer for you as well, all right? I know a lot of people want zero fat on their body. That doesn't work. You need it to protect you. Whereas visceral fat is mainly located around your organs, and it's mainly in your abdomen, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of information here for you to be aware of, especially if you're someone who's struggling mainly with the belly and less with everything else. Visceral fat could be the contributing factor, okay? It could be the reason. Especially an easy way to test that, and you guys can do this right now, is if you have a bit of a belly and you go ahead and you try to pinch it, if you can pinch it and it's soft and it's easy, you're probably pinching some subcutaneous fat, right? The fat that is distributed across your body. If you find that even though you have a belly, it's kind of still a little bit harder, it's not so soft, realistically, visceral fat is going to be part of the culprit there. The good news is when you do start a proper weight loss journey, visceral fat is actually the first to go usually. It goes a little bit before subcutaneous fat, and you will end up losing both, okay? But you may notice if you have a lot of visceral fat that when you start one of these journeys, that's going to be the first area that's going to shrink a little bit, which I mean is what we're all going for, so that's great. More or less, right? Before I move on from fat specifically, guys, awesome. Hello, everybody. Looking good. I want to talk a little bit as well. So I see people just came in now. So you can go back into this video and look a little bit about the types of fat we just talked about. Let's move forward here. I also want to talk a little bit about my preferred ways to measure body fat as a personal trainer and health coach with my clients, okay? We're not going to get into weight. I do use weight as a measurement, as a metric. Not everybody likes to, and that's okay. All right, but different ways that you can look at it. Number one is body fat percentage. A lot of gyms will offer this to you. You can go in, you can say, I want to take my body fat measurements, and they'll be able to give this to you. A lot of scales as well, even scales that, you know, sell on Amazon for $40, they have that measurement as well. And I've heard other people say, well, it's not 100% accurate. It's about 97% accurate. And if you use it as a continuing metric, you will be able to monitor your improvements, right? So it is a great option to use. One thing I do want to say as well is if you've heard of BMI, you can let me know what it is in the comments below if anybody knows what it is. 3, 2, 1, it's body mass index. Body mass index is not what you think I'm going to say probably. It's not a metric I would use, okay? Especially if you're in your weight loss journey, if you have more muscle, because it's been disproven. It's not very accurate, and very often if you're very, very muscular, it's going to scale you as overweight. So that's kind of, I would stick to body fat percentage if you can, if you're looking for a specific metric other than weight, and also just taking your measurements, right? So these are all ways that you can kind of measure that properly. Now, let's go a little bit into food versus exercise, okay? Very often people, when they get into this, they don't know where to start. They say, I want to lose a little bit of weight, I want to get in shape. Do I start with nutrition? Do I start with exercise? Do I start with both? First of all, if you have all the time and the concentration in the world, you can definitely start with both. What I would tend to say is, they serve... Awesome. You did it, you did your body mass index, and how did you can let me know how you scored, right? It's an easy measurement. It's gonna ask your height, your weight, everything, and then it's gonna give you a measurement, and very, very often it's gonna score people a little bit inaccurately, but it depends on where you are at in your journey. So awesome, Max, yes. Anyway, moving into a little bit, again, of food versus exercise. What I would really tell people, and I'll get more into this for sure, but what I would tell people is, honestly, start with, if you're starting from scratch, start with whatever's easier for you. Okay, really. I mean, they get too caught up in this. They say, well, you know, I really heard nutrition versus exercise, blah, blah, blah. No. If you don't want to focus on nutrition at all, start with an exercise program. You'll start to see a little bit of results from that, and also exercise goes so much beyond weight loss. It's just amazing for overall health. But on the other hand, if you don't have time for that, but you have time to donate to your nutrition plan and to figuring that out, then that's where you should start as well. You can start with one or the other. You can let that take a little bit of its journey, and you can bring in the other one when you're ready, okay? So the easiest thing to do is to do what works for you. Set yourself up for success right away by giving yourself the best opportunity, okay, to succeed, I mean. When it comes to a little bit of food versus exercise, the one thing I will say, and we'll get more into this tomorrow, I don't want to take all your time today, so I'm going to be posting again tomorrow and Wednesday in deeper detail every time so that you can leave on Wednesday from this with a bit of a plan in mind of how to implement it. But food basically is one of the most efficient ways if you can actually manage to look at your calorie expenditure, which we'll talk about a little bit more later, okay, and figure out what your deficit is. I know I'm throwing around a lot of words, but basically we burn a certain amount of calories every day. Everybody's different. It depends on your weight, it depends on your age, depends on your activity level. If you can figure out how much you burn and then eat less than that, you will lose weight. 100% you will lose weight, okay? With that said, again, like I said, if you don't have time to donate to that right now, but you can implement a regular exercise schedule, then you will also be burning more calories through that exercise. And actually tomorrow, that's going to be one of our topics. What kind of exercise should you dive into to really maximize fat loss specifically? So we're going to talk more about that. Finally, guys, I know I'm rattling through a lot. I don't want to take too much time here, but I also just wanted to point out, okay, there are other factors at play in your health and your routine that are going to be important to look at when you're looking at getting in shape. And they are, but not limited to, your sleep quality. How much do you sleep? Is it good sleep? All right, it could be stress. It could be, not drinking enough water. You need water to be able to get your systems rolling through your body, and you need a lot of it. And people very often kind of forget that step. A lot of my clients, that's their struggling point, is water. So these are all other factors that you should consider if you're someone who's already started a weight loss journey through nutrition and or exercise. All right, you may, and you find that it's moving kind of slowly, you may want to look at some of these other factors, and maybe that's going to be able to help you speed up your process. And this again is going to be another topic that we'll get more into detail a little bit more tomorrow, but I'm telling you right now, if you've already tried some of these things, that's going to be a good place to continue. With that said, the last thing that I'm going to leave you with for today is don't start there. Okay, I know this is so silly, but it needs to be mentioned. I've dealt with a lot of clients, family members, friends, whatever the case, who say, somebody will come up to me and they say, I haven't been able to lose weight, and I'm pretty sure it's my sleep. My sleep is terrible, but they're eating cheeseburgers every day. That's one example, okay? Or things like this, or I'm so stressed and that's what it is, but here in Montreal, because I know I have some viewers who are not in Montreal, we're enjoying poutine for dinner every single day. So these are things that you have to look at as well. You have to start with your nutrition and exercise. Please start there. If you are finding it's a little bit slow moving, look at these other factors as well. And then finally, I know I keep adding on. I have so much I want to say, which is why we're going to do this in 3 parts, guys. The final thing that I want to say is this also, for some people, it's going to depend on you a little bit, but for some people, it takes time to view those results. All right? When I have gone before myself on a serious deficit in calories, it took me about a month before the scale moved, and then it starts to move. But the reason I'm telling you this is so that you don't do it for even 2 weeks. You're like, I did this for 2 weeks, it doesn't work. For some people, it depends on our bodies and our metabolism, and it's going to take you a while to get the ball rolling, and that's okay. All right? The next video, that is a great question, Yannick. So the next video, I'm going to be posting one tomorrow and Wednesday. The one at tomorrow is at 10:30 a.m. I'm kind of fitting these in between clients and when I can, so I know there are different times every day. But guys, if you can join me tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., please do. The video will stay up after so that you can watch it later in the day if you're working or whatever the case. And we're going to get into these in much more detail. All right, so by the end of Wednesday, you are going to have a proper plan and a know-how of what your next steps should be. So with that, guys, if anything else, I think I've gone through all my notes here. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Let's see, Angel. Yes, Angel, I'm going to tag you in this. Awesome, Yannick. Awesome, Kaylin. It's good to see you all. I'm so happy that you guys joined me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.